Hello and welcome to the Hyperion Invitational Cup, And we are in round one of our last chance qualifiers. We have the Supernova Bowl 2.0 coming at you. I am your caster, Lemon Pepper, and I'm joined here in the booth with Spooky. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, Lemon Pepper. I'm excited. Someone's going home tonight, or more home than they already are.
That's true.
They're out of the tourney.
That's right. This is the beginning of the eliminations. It's do or die, win or go home. And yeah, we've got Lux Nova taking on Flux Nova. This is a rematch, of course, from earlier in the season. Flux Nova, wrong. Frost Nova getting the better of that. Flux, Lux, Frost, it's all these alliterations throwing me off, but it's the Novas, you know how it is.
Yeah. Frost Nova. Frost Nova over here at 2-3, just coming into our 5th place, and we have their team card up now, so we can see exactly who is going to be in game so far. They have made top 3 in every tournament they've participated in, so if that continues, Lemon, Lux Nova is going to go down, and Tempest Typhoon might fall as well to keep the prophecy going on.
Frost Nova's going to have to climb the ladder. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're going to have to climb that ladder.
For sure. And whoever wins this does go on to face against Tempest Typhoon. What are your thoughts on that? I'm just curious.
It's going to be a good match. I think either way we're prepared for whichever team we have to face. But either way, it's going to be good that we get to see both these teams ahead of time, and we kind of get to see what we're going to be up against. Going over to the Lux Nova roster now, we're seeing Juggle God back in the lineup. Prominent caster, we know him, we love him, Juggle God. And the rest of this Lux Nova team, what do you make of them, Spooky?
I mean, it's tough. This team is 0-5. They've yet to win a map in the Hyperion Invitational. But even if everyone else was Overwatch League players, they'd have a hell of a time carrying Juggle God. So I, for one, am certainly a little bit worried. But let's see if the rest of the team can pull this one out.
Some strong words from Spooky for the fellow caster. And this match, honestly, going to be very exciting, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 2-3 finish. I think Lux Nova, despite their record, they've made some vast improvements over the season. I think Stafftron, Ryuke Sim on the DPS line, I think when they synergize well with the tanks, this team looks very strong, and they can definitely not only take some maps, but possibly take this series. But going into that, let's just get some predictions, Spooky. What have you got for us?
Yeah, despite what I said earlier, I do think Lux Nova are going to be able to take this for a lot of the same reasons you said. They have been making improvements. And honestly, 0-5 during the group stage, it's a group stage. Whatever. You can go 0-5 and still end up getting a really high placement in the tournament. It is now do or die. You just have to get out of that mindset, where you're like, wow, we haven't won a match. That doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. Just get into the game that you're playing right now, do your best, and don't let maybe poor performances in the past pull you down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's all you can do with Lux Nova is it's a brand new day, it's a brand new tournament, so to speak.
You're still here.
Yeah, we're in playoffs now, so if you think about it, everyone's 0-0. It's all starting from scratch. We've got our seeding, yes. But everyone's starting at ground zero, and I think for a lot of people that can be a gift, and for a lot of people that can be a curse, because it kind of, it's all about this momentum to an extent you've built up. But now it does look like we will be loading into our first map of the series, which will be Ilios.
Yeah, we're going to Ilios Ruins, and I'm definitely excited to break this one out and see exactly what these teams have. Definitely a chance to make a strong statement for exactly how the series is going to break out. Now, Lemon, going to a map like Ruins, each control point is so different. What are you expecting from the teams here?
Well, I think Ruins presents a little bit more open opportunity than possibly some of the other maps on Ilios. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a Widow. Pharmacy is also very valid, as I said, for the openness of the map. You can utilize a lot of that skybox. There's a lot of natural pathing that Pharah can use to really set up targets and project the team into a certain area, which allows the rest of your team obviously to collapse. It does look like both teams will be opting for the pharmacy to start. We do have a Sombra on the side of Lux, and Scarrow will be on the Tracer for the side of Frostnova.
Yeah, no dedicated hit scan is what's sticking out to me, so these Pharahs could get a lot done in the sky here. We see JuggleGod, he's going in already, trying to find that pile driver, trying to get around the enemy team, but he hasn't quite found an opportunity to start yet. So far, Lux is getting a lot of good positioning here, but the engagement hasn't come through yet. But that's a big anti-nade landing onto the Winston, but there's no follow-through, not yet.
Yeah, just a little too early in the fight, a little bit of posturing. Ooh, but those are two big picks coming out for JuggleGod and Sailor Nymphs.
Yeah, both supports down. That should spell first capture for Lux Nova here. And yeah, it does look like that is going to be what happens. Crispy goes over the edge, but at the end of the day, it is going to be Lux off those support picks. They'll get the first cap.
The tanks for both sides, a little bit like Lemmings there. We had all the tanks just kind of jumping off the side in succession. But that will start off with Lux Nova getting early control of the point, and that's going to allow Ryuke-Sim really just to set up, pick the shots on Pharah, and really just kind of force Frost Nova into some more of these engagements that they possibly don't want to be in.
Yeah, it is so much easier to defend with the Pharah than to attack. So it's definitely interesting that Frost continue to come forward with this Pharah Mercy. Still, no real hit scan, but Ricey's taking it here. Like, he's trying to get in, and it's so hard. Sailor Nips is low, but has the Mercy pocket to keep him up. He's almost built up to that Nano. Let's see who he'll put it on. He's looking at the Pharah, but so far both teams are very, very cautious about when they want to go in. The pulse bomb doesn't stick, but it gets to kill anyway, and that's an opening for Frost Nova. As Scarrow doesn't care that he's not a long-range hit scan, he takes out the Pharah anyway. There's only one res online, and it's used on the Pharah. The Ana is still out. But so far, Lux Nova are still controlling the point, even as Frost Nova get the picks. They're just stalling at this point. Frost have won the fight. It's just a matter of how fast they clean it up. JuggleGod has a lot of health, and he's managing to keep it on point, build that percentage up. Let's see, Lux Nova might be able to even come back into this. Juggle has the mines. He doesn't pop them just
slow
yet.
enough. I think they might actually be able to keep this contest going. I mean, look at it. It's almost all the way up to 80% now at this point.
Yeah, I mentioned Juggle having the mines. I really like him not using it there. Because look how many ultimates Lux Nova have built up. They're almost at 90%, and they have everything they need to take this back.
And finally, Frost Nova will take it over there, but 90% achieved for Lux. And I mean, as you said, rightfully so, that's 5 ultimates online. We do have a pause coming out on the field just at the moment. But yeah, looking at the kind of aftermath of that fight, you see that Lux Nova, they're set up here to take this back pretty easily. As you said, JuggleGod, a very patient play there coming out, saving those mines. Now you've got 5 ults on the field, basically everything but Valk. So, you've got a really big EMP, you've got the Barrage, you've got the Nano, you've got all these, in and of themselves, each one is almost a fight-winning ultimate, but you throw them all together. Meanwhile, Frost Nova, they're a holding, and that's going to give Azino a really good chance to set up that barrage to get some good pathing in. Blazing Angel with that Valkyrie. I mean, there is a chance here to hold this, but man, that's a lot of ultimates to be fighting against on the defense.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Frost Nova for sure. They'll have to be aggressive with these ultimates, potentially as maybe the mines come out from Juggle. If Frost Nova can go in with like a Barrage Valkyrie and clean it up, make those mines not mean anything, potentially you can whittle down the ultimates a little bit, but you're staring at an EMP, and I don't know, Lemon, it's just gonna, if the EMP comes through, I don't feel like there's much else this team's going to be able to do. If even, 2 or 3 members get caught by it, you follow it up with a bomb, you follow it up with the mines, and then at the end of all this, there's a Nano Barrage waiting for you. Frost aren't gonna have another chance to touch. But
no. I mean, not if they use their ultimates correctly. But it is important, I think, to note that Frost Nova, that last fight that they started to take the fight there, they shut down the 2 players that had ultimates on the side of Lux Nova. At the time, that was the Ana and the Pharah. So if Frost Nova can pull something like that again, they could possibly sustain this out and actually get some good progress here. But the
They're
EMP
going
coming
to
out.
have to. The EMP has 5. The bomb catches nobody. But if Stafftron goes down, despite the 5-man EMP, Frost Nova just completely backs off. It's 4v5 now in favor of Frost Nova. All the ultimates coming out from Lux Nova beyond that Nano Barrage. They still have a chance here. They've capped up the point, and the Nano Barrages counter each other in the air, but Ryukasim coming out on top, getting the 2 picks. Blazing Angel hasn't given this one up yet, resurrecting the Pharah, and Frost Nova are still in this. Lux Nova are getting the picks, they're in control, but Frost Nova were not wiped like we might have expected. The fight's going down on point, but Scarrow once again getting the pulse bomb kill on the Sailor Nips, but it's traded back by Blazing Angel. Wumps has the res as well, and everything seems to be going in favor of Lux Nova here. Lemon, it looks like they are going to get this cap up. Sailor Nips coming back to life and coming back with a vengeance, getting the picks, and that is going to be all she wrote. Lux Nova taking the first point on Ilios, but it was a little dicey there for a second.
A little touch and go, but really a commanding performance coming out from Lux there, I'd say. I mean, both teams showing really great patience, I'd say. You saw some really great disengages, resets, allowing them to re-engage. Both teams demonstrated the patience there, but I think that Lux, they just got a little bit more out of the ultimates, out of the individual performance. You see Ryuki-sim with the higher barrage winning there basically, and just that's what I think it boils down to, was just slightly better, almost call it luck for Lux Nova. But now going into Ilios well, and only one Lucio on the field, so I'll be watching Blazing Angel for those boop kills.
Yeah, we are going to see that 6-man dive comp coming out of Frost Nova. Lux continuing to play ball comps, and they have the Pharah Mercy as well. Once again, not too much to counter this, not the long-range hit scan. The Echo and Diva can do it, but it's not great. The engage is coming out, but Frost Nova aren't quite sure how to get into this. The Hog is really a deterrent, but they're really putting in some damage here as well. As Crispy misses the hook, he doesn't have the health, and I think the Hog is going to get roasted here. As Frost Nova, they're taking the first fights, and they managed to keep the point from getting capped. You saw multiple members of Lux Nova going over there trying to cap the point, get the percentage up, but it's not going to work out for them. This is going to be first cap for Frost Nova. Unless there's some heroics coming out, it doesn't look like it. Lux Nova back to the drawing board.
And that was just great presence and control coming out from Frost Nova. They really understood where to take fights to basically minimize the effect that Crispy on that Roadhog can have. You have to remember, this Roadhog can do a lot of work against this 6-man style of dive that we've got coming out from Frost. But meanwhile, you've got Kabudozer coming up online on Coalescence, and that is a very big ult here in this comp that Frost Nova's running.
Yeah, it can also take the far out of the sky, which I think is very important considering the compositions right now. Crispy gets the D-Mech onto Ricey. There's a serial joke in there, but I can't quite get it out. Now, Frost is going forward with the Coalescence, but it's countered out by the whole Hog. Crispy is pushing forward with barely any HP. He survives just on 8 before he gets the heal back up. Lux Nova manages to flip the point in the middle of this, but the fight is not yet done. Scarrow pushing forward, has the Death Blossom, just misses the kill onto Juggle God, and the ults are coming out from Lux Nova. Crispy is nanoed, but he misses his hook, and now he's just feeding ultimate charge to the enemy team. Florida finds a pick on the Sailor Nips, but goes along after him, falls out. Ricey gets a pick as well, and so far it seems like Frost Nova are going to be able to take this one. Juggle God lays down the mines, but Scarrow says no. It doesn't matter, because Azino falls to them anyway, and now Lux Nova are getting some picks here. They've had control of the point, which they stole away in the middle of the fight, and they're starting to turn it. Some way, somehow. Their members are back on point, and it looks like they're going to get away with this one, Lemon.
These fights are just allowed to sustain and go on. And Flux, just with a little bit more point awareness, it's allowing them to reap the benefits. I mean, not only did they get progress up to that 34%. They're now surpassed it. They're pushing on by it. They're maintaining control now. Now you have to look, Scarrow and Ricey, those are two big ultimates, along with the Coalescence coming back out again. These are ultimates that Frostnova can use to get back in, but they're going to have to watch out for that EMP as well as Ryuki Sim's barrage there.
Yeah, they have to go fast there, though. They are running out of time. Stafftron looking for a place to lay down this EMP. The 6-man comp likes to stick together, and it's going to be a 3-man coming out. It's countered by the Coalescence, but the barrage follows up for the D-Mech on the Ricey. Ryuki Sim finishes that kill. Scarrow trades back onto the support, Sailor Knit, and he's in the back line looking for a place to lay down this Death Blossom, but everyone takes to the sky, and he falls as well. It's overtime now, 4 members left for Frostnova, and there's nobody who can deny this Pharah. Ryuki Sim is just putting in the damage. We see the duplicate coming out onto the Diva, but nothing comes out, and Juggle God knocks him out of his ultimate. As Zeno doing his absolute best, but he is low. He gives enough time for the rest of Frostnova to come back, and everyone on Luxnova is taking a lot of damage as well. Trades come through yet again, as neither team wants to give up this point. Stafftron almost built up to another EMP here. That's how long this fight has been going. Trades through again. Scarrow gets one with the ultimate, but Juggle God trades it out. So far, we haven't seen anyone take an advantage, but Frostnova are starting to get the picks. Despite everything Luxnova threw in here, it looks like Frostnova's going to find the flip.
They finally managed to pull that flip off there, and now they're looking at 40% to their 99%. One fight territory coming out on the side of Lux. They've got another EMP back online. That's important to note. That's going to be a great fight to engage. Blazing Angel's going to have to hide, and really, I think this is going to be the linchpin, is being able to use that sound barrier to counteract that EMP. Cabo Dozer, I mean, farming the Coalescence. This has been some good support work coming out from the side of Frostnova.
Absolutely. The Coalescence comes out first. Let's see if Stafftron will engage on this. It doesn't look like it. It looks like Lux are happy enough to just lose this fight, hold on to their ultimates, and see what comes next. But that's one support ult out. Now Stafftron only has to worry about Blazing Angel. Like, if he can get the EMP to connect with the Lucio, they might get something done, but they're running out of time here, Lemon.
I think it's important to note as well that by waiting for that EMP, Crispy now has the self-destruct online. This could be a nice combo. Meanwhile, Ryuki Sim with the barrage too. These are you could use these in unison to create like a pincer effect basically, and this could be a possible winning fight combination for Lux.
The bomb comes out, but Juggle God's already down. It counters out. Stafftron uses the EMP, but I'm not sure it connects with anybody. The sound barrier is able to counter out, and it's a 5v5 fight as trades continue to come in, but it looks like Luxnova are not finding the picks they needed. Juggle God's back in, but as Zeno has copied over to the Diva, almost has that bomb, is going to lay it down, and everything seems to be coming up Frostnova after a sketchy start to begin this map, but they do manage to take it back 100 to 99.
Yeah, Frostnova looks much more awake, I'd say, here on Well than they did on Ruins. Scarrow on that Reaper just getting a ton of value there at the end, really doing a good job to lock up the point to deny that ground basically for Luxnova. Disappointing EMP coming out, it's true. I think if that had gotten a little bit more value, there might have been potentially more chance there for Lux to turn it around, but now we're going to 1-1, and this is how I expected the series. We're 1-1, you know, best of 3 on control map. I think we're going to be seeing a 3-2 in the series. It all makes sense, basically, as we go here to Lighthouse.
Frostnova sticking with this 6-man dive composition. They looked good on it on Well, so let's see if that will continue. Neither side really making a compositional change, deciding to stick to their guns, and we will see which is better once and for all on Lighthouse.
I think it's really going to fall down to, can the 6-man dive comp of Frost, can they mitigate the Pharah? Because they don't have any direct counters. Maybe a Xeno on the Echo. So it's going to be how they path, how they maneuver that minimizes. But already, Ryuki-san getting that pick on a Xeno.
Yeah, definitely not a direct counter with a pick like that. No mercy on the side of Frostnova to res that one up. So it is Lux going to be taking control of the point, and they're taking control of the fight as well. Cabo Dozer respawns, but I'm not quite sure it'll be enough. But Scarrow gets another one, both DPS down for Luxnova. Everything was going so well for them, but but Scarrow does not want to lose this one, not at all. He's gonna get booped, and the teleport's not in time. Jungle God comes out to respond with a D-Mech and a kill off of his grappling hook. It's not going to be enough. Frost Nova managed to get back into this. Lux Nova have to be satisfied with the 30% they gain.
They're still holding on here, but it's crazy. Lux Nova loves sneaking onto the point and getting that cheeky progress. Basically, when you're not looking, when you're in this mid fight, they manage to wrestle control away, and that gives them now a 32% advantage. But as on top of that, now you've got mines coming out from Jungle Gone. But that's a big early pick. You hate to see that if you're Lux. That's a big part of your shot calling, your planning is Staftron. Now you're gonna have to wait for that reset. Meanwhile, it's giving Cabo Dozer time to get that Coalescence online, and he's gonna have a lot to contend with Jungle God, with the mines, Crispy with the self-destruct, as well as the barrage coming out from Ryuki-san.
And that's beautiful play from Frost. They know they got the Sombra pick, Lemon. They know that the other team is waiting till they're at full strength, so they push forward and get a pick on the Sailor Nips. The res comes out to deny it, but Lux comes through, tries to cap up on the point, but Jungle God's down. A 4-man EMP might save them, but there's no follow-up. No one is able to follow up on the EMP, and Frost Nova are back at full fighting strength, pushing forward, minus Ricey's mech. It's not going to be a big deal as Scarrow gets the Death Blossom into the Far of Mercy. Azino's going to get some of the credit, but Scarrow did a lot of damage. I thought
that was going to shut down the barrage. I thought Ryuki-san was going to pop the barrage there. Fortunately, hanging on to it, though. But that's exactly what Scarrow was trying to shut down, was that barrage. If you wait a little longer, maybe you get the barrage out, get the shotgun, but either way, that's a good way to secure a fight win. And now, we're getting close to one fight territory if you're the side of Frost Nova.
Yeah, they have to take this fast if they want to, but I'm not sure they'll get another chance at it. We see Staftron move over to the Soldier. He's decided the Sombra isn't working, potentially trying to put a little bit more damage into the Echo. Sailor Nips with this nano boost is looking where to put it down. He knows he wants it on the Pharah for the barrage, and it comes through. The defense matrix eats up a lot of it, and the sound barrier takes care of the rest. All the ults coming out from Frost Nova, they know the potential. Did anyone go over the side? It does not quite look like it as the trades start to come through. But it seems to me like they're favoring Frost Nova yet again. The positioning, the ultimates, everything was in favor of Frost Nova there, and they are going to take our first map.
That was a great duplicate coming out there from the Echo of Frost Nova. Switching to that D.Va, I mean, Ryuki-san on that far is the big problem, and now you've got one more counter for him to contend with. That was just a great play, really securing that up, and it really looked like Frost Nova adjusted much better throughout this first map to what they were seeing from Lux, and that really just leads to, but here you see, higher barrage wins, getting the picks here, and that's how Lux is able to secure that first point. But from there, it seemed like it just all went downhill. The adjustments coming out from Frost Nova really allowing them to get the upper hand there, and you got to wonder if we see more of that throughout this series. Frost Nova just might be winning this match.
Absolutely. I do think that a lot of that came down from them swapping over to that 6-man comp. They looked very strong in it. There were multiple times that they actually left the point in favor of tracking down some of the kills, right? And they know that they can win the 2v6. While the rest of Lux Nova went forward on the point. They killed the Hog, the Ana, etc., and then had enough time to come back. Their coordination was very, very strong on that composition. And I think going over to the Far Mercy on Ruins, they played into Lux Nova's game. And I think that's part of the reason they lost on that first map. But once they were more comfortable, they played their own 6-man comp. They're like, there's a Far in the sky, whatever. We know what we're doing. Let's play really well. We can keep the Far from ever getting good positioning that will really punish us. And let's just dive on them. Let's go hard. We know what we're good at, and they succeeded.
Right, and that's when you're running a 6-man dive. That's what you have to do against the Pharah. Is you basically have to say that we're going to ignore the Pharah. We're going to go after our picks, the people we can pick, and hope that we get our value before the Pharah can get her value. and then the Pharah will either have to reset or the Pharah will have to move in close enough to try and get value that then our Diva is able to counter. It all goes down the line from there basically. But that is the big gamble running 6-man into a Pharah is, can our comp do what it needs to do before your Pharah can do what she needs to do? And in that case, the adjustments coming out from Frost Nova, the answer was yes. They were able to do more before Ryukisim could do what they needed to do on Pharah, and that just boils down to a map win coming out for Frost.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason that, like you noted, Cabodozer had coalescences all the time. If Ryukisim isn't getting the picks with the rockets with the AoE, you're just feeding healing over to Cabodozer. Yeah, he's getting 5-man heals in his primary fire. He's getting all of that. He's just sucking it right up and being like, if you can't kill someone, I'm gonna be healing them right back up, building up to that coalescence and using it to kill your supports.
I mean, that's exactly what happened throughout the series too. Is the 6-man was executed at a very high level, allowing Cabodozer to just constantly amass value, constantly get maximum efficiency from the healing spray, from the biotic orbs. Blazing Angel able to get the team maneuvered around, all because you're playing well together, and in doing so, you're making it harder for Pharah to isolate that one kill. Pharah can start isolating those one kills, when she's getting targets isolated, using that concussion mine to basically isolate targets and then finish them off. That also allows her team to finish them off as well. When that's not happening, though, then Blazing Angel and Cabodozer on that support line are just going to keep getting value throughout the whole fight. And you got to wonder, going into this next map of Watchpoint Gibraltar, that 6-man, it's going to have even more prevalence, I'd say.
Absolutely, but it is situational. If Lux
Agreed.
are able to take maybe a really strong defensive positioning on the high ground, really take advantage of the Pharah, take advantage of the mobility of their heroes like the Ball, and just set the Ana up there, they can really control the pace of the game, because Moira doesn't have any vertical mobility. Like, if you're really taking control of the high ground, like, where the Moira is going to be, just walking up the stairs wherever she can. Like, the rest of the team wants to dive, teleport in, and Moira's just trucking along, trying to find a way to get up there. So it kind of depends where they play. But Frost Nova are able to get control of that high ground. They should have a very, very good time on that 6-man comp.
Absolutely. And on the side of Lux, for that very reason, I would really like to see them consider at least the double shield comp, using that poke to basically whittle down the cooldowns, whittle down the resources of the 6-man, and in doing so, possibly get value that way. Because if you're getting a pick as the start of the engage on a 6-man comp, then they're not getting the value. They're not going to achieve what they're trying to do.
It's not called the 5-man comp.
Yeah, it is not called 5-man. It is called 6-man. If you drop one early, you're going to constantly keep Frost on their heels. And if I'm recalling correctly, we saw Paradise Aegis counter this 6-man comp pretty effectively, running purple on the Roadhog. I'm pretty sure that was the last match I casted, was Frost versus Aegis with the purple Roadhog, and I have been confirmed by production that isn't the case. I'm not going crazy, and so we saw that. We saw the Roadhog shut down this style of play very frequently. Now, you have to think Frost Nova's worked to try and address the issues that made that possible. But, if Lux doesn't get value on these comps that they're running, I say give it a shot. We saw it work. See if you can get value from it.
Yeah, and there's sometimes is a legitimate strategy. If what you've scrimmed with, what you have practiced, isn't working, at some point you just have to throw it out. Be like, hey, we have to be flexible. We have to try something new, because what we practiced isn't working.
You just gotta spend it.
It's a hard balance to find. Absolutely. We're seeing Lux come out with a similar composition with that Far Mercy in the sky and juggle on the Ball. Frost Nova going for more of a dive comp, along with that Ashe in the backline, taking advantage of Gibraltar's long sightlines. Lux is looking for a strong engage, but they seem pretty happy to just try and move the card along a little bit and harass.
This comp does. This is a very chaotic, harassing comp. That Lux Nova are coming out, and as you see, it pays dividends. Ryukasim able to get inside there on Scaro, shut down the immediate counter, and now Lux can go to work here.
Yeah, they managed to control the body as well. Keep Blazing Angel from getting that resurrect. A big anti onto Florida. He is so low, but it's traded out by another anti onto the tanks of Lux Nova. Juggle God barely gets out with his life, but Frost Nova have to come out here. They definitely don't want to, as Florida gets deleted, and that is an early first capture for Lux. I'm not sure that card ever stopped moving.
They kept it rolling with pretty nice efficiency, and now we do have a pause coming out. But you do see Crispy and Ryukasim building up those ultimates. The rest of the team not far behind. No one lower than 80%. That was just a very effective play coming out from Lux. And they're getting the value. Kind of prior to what I was discussing prior to joining this map was the idea of using the double shield to basically counter six-man by taking out one player in that initial engage. But that's what Lux is doing right now with the Pharah. They're basically doing that by creating that cleave and then letting Juggle God, Crispy, and Stafftron dive in, get the value, get the kill. Now they're already in position and they go to work on the rest of the team. So it's pretty exciting to watch so far. And if you're a fan of Lux, then it's signs of hope, possibly that this series could be tied up after this map.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start for them. And it's so much pressure. I think that's the best word for it. They never won the fight exactly. Like, they never killed everybody. They didn't eliminate the whole enemy team. They just put on pressure. You'd see Crispy flying out, and then Juggle God would be coming back in. They never gave Frost Nova a time to breathe, and all they needed was that Ash pick. And they just kept pushing forward, and the Frost Nova was like, yeah, we have to go back to spawn. We have to regroup or we're going to lose people. And then they didn't have time. Florida had to jump back out to try and touch the point. He didn't have full health, and he just gets demolished. And then it's 2 eliminations for a point. Lux Nova never won the fight. They never got like the 6-man kill. They never got the team kill. They got 2 picks. But it wasn't enough.
Created enough chaos. That's all it was. They created chaos with the Wrecking Ball, with the Pharah, with the Tracer, all of that, throwing the antis in there. Basically, everything in the comp is set up to harass. And in doing so, they let Ryukasim get close enough, kill that Ash. And as you said, that throws everything out the window on the side of Frost. Their big counter for the Pharah is now gone. Now all of a sudden Azino's put under pressure from the Pharah. Kabudozer on the On is put under pressure. Your tanks don't really have anywhere to set up to basically pre-fight into stage. And then you just go to work. And as you said, just a couple of picks and you secure it because they're using the chokes, they're using the map geography to their advantage.
Yeah, now there's a lot of momentum in favor of Lux Nova here. And like you said, a lot of ultimates as well. Almost everyone built up to that. They will be facing down a Nano Winston. And that could ruin your day.
That's an unfortunate thing to run into. You do have to wonder, just from the sake of the ability for Frost to play the game. Sorry, I'm trying to phrase what I'm trying to say adequately, but it's basically Florida's having connection issues at the moment, it seems. And with that on your main tank, you have to wonder how much that's affecting Frost Nova's ability to engage, to coordinate these pre-fights, to coordinate in the mid-fight. It begs the question.
Yeah, hopefully we are good to go. Florida is back. He's dropped the R's in chat. So hopefully we won't have any more issues moving forward.
Fingers
but just looking at these ultimates, I know we talked about Frost or Lux Nova, but Frost have many of them as well. But it's not going to matter. Crispy gets the 2K with the bomb. And that card is very close to point B, Lemon. This might be record times for Lux coming in on Gibraltar.
Juggle God playing the perfect bait there. Gets slept over in the corner. Everyone's lining up, getting ready to put all their bursts onto him. And then here comes Crispy. Zoom, flies in, beats him up. And now look, that point did not stop. And now that's a 5:45 time bank. Very impressive stuff so far coming out from Lux this map.
Yeah, absolutely one of the largest time banks I've seen at Gibraltar. Lux do not want to fall here. A couple picks are coming through, but it seems like even more are coming in for Lux. Crispy is down, but that card still hasn't stopped, Lemon. Like, it's still just a rolling on. Crispy has ample time to come back, and Ryukasim is just poking his head out and putting the rockets in. Florida has the nano, is coming in, but who does he dive on? This team is so mobile. He tries to find the Ana, but it's practically a wasted ult. He gets no value out of it.
You want the Ana there, but Sailor Nip's doing an excellent job of evading there. Ultimately going down here, second effort pulls it off for Florida. But meanwhile, this is the first time they've actually got a consistent hold here on defense.
Yeah. And you use a nano and a duplicate for a kill onto an Ana. A little bit more than you'd like to. Use. Sailor Nips.
Yeah, you can't commit that every fight.
Yeah, Sailor Nips doesn't want to be in that situation again. Gonna swap over to the BAP. Juggle, swapping off the trademark ball to play the Reinhardt. Let's see exactly what he's got for us. He's walking forward on Big Hammer Man, but I'm not even sure we will. I don't think we'll need the Juggle Rhine because Ryukasim finds 3. I'm sure that Resurrect is going to be right there. And that is everyone down from Frost Nova alongside the Valkyrie as well. And Juggle's happy to just swing his hammer into the spawn. Florida trying his best with the Primal Rage, but he is just getting absolutely melted. The bomb comes out as well, and this is looking like a very good time bake for Lux Nova. The bomb comes through, but Ricey hears me. He says, no way we are falling here, and gets a 2K with the bomb. The Bob as well from Scarrow, and that is going to be a last-second hold, but it costs a lot of ultimates to do so.
It did cost a lot, but you have to do it. You've got to get this time bank down if you want to stay competitive here going into your attack. I mean, patience is a virtue for Ryukasim. Held on to that barrage for so long, but made it worth it. You see him switching over to the Mei now, going to this more traditional brawl comp is Lux. Now you've got Juggle God on the Rhine, but this is going to give Scarrow a lot of room to work on the high ground on that Ashe.
A lot of room, but not a lot of time, as Lux Nova is just going to push their way, force their way forward with this rush. Their comp is much better for close quarters brawling, and it seems like they're just about in that position. Juggle almost has the Shatter ready, but that's a large anti-nade. The Shatter goes into his own shield, I think, coming out from Ryukasim. And the alternate Shatter from the duplicate is going to hit a few. Juggle tries to keep them alive with the shield, but Stafftron is down. Everything was looking like it would have been good for Lux. It looked like a big opportunity, but nothing yet. Now that gives Frost Nova time to build up their own ultimate.
And they have. They've got Shatter online for the Reinhardt. They've got Scarrow with that Bob. Those two put together can get a lot of value. Not to mention the fact Kabuto's are right there on the horizon with the Nano. And that's really all you've got is Ryukasim coming up online with the Cryo Freeze, and then Window coming out from Sailor Nips on the Baptiste. You really don't have a lot to attack with this. I think you want to take this fight slowly, possibly build up more ults, but that pick like that, why would you go slow?
Absolutely. As Xeno's down, Florida follows along. The Shatter was not enough. The Bob is in, but it's not quite getting enough. Stafftron gets the D-Mech onto Ricey, and the Blizzard comes out as well. The pick comes through, but it's done its job. Ryukasim laying down, freezing everyone up. Lux Nova, they weren't quite on the point for the whole time, so there is an opportunity for Frost Nova to get back in here, but I don't think it's going to be too long, especially with that bomb coming through. And it looks like they are going to manage to push it in with a minute and a half. It's a good time bank, but it's not much compared to 5:45 that they began the point C with.
I mean, if you're Frost Nova, you have to be very pleased with that hold there. You finally were able to get the stop, and then you fought tooth and nail to get, as you said, a 5:45 time bank down to a minute 38. Now that gives you a winnable opportunity. If you can get a cap here, if you can get over a minute in your time bank, these are all things that are going to basically give you an opportunity to still pull out a win on this map. Something that, you know, if you're looking at a 3.5 minute time bank, something of that extent, if they don't get that first stop, I mean, if you're looking at something like that, that's a lot harder to overcome. This, however, very manageable. You get anything over a minute, you're sitting pretty, I think, to still have a chance at this map. But it's all going to basically rely on what their attack can do. I'm interested to see if they run this McCree Doomfist to start out. I do love seeing a Xeno on the Doomfist. it's going to be interesting because it puts a lot of pressure on Scaro to get value against Ryuke Sim and Mugglywumps on that pharmacy combo, and not really having a pocket of their own. So it's a 1v2 essentially, because you don't even have Ricey on the Diva. You got Ricey on the Wrecking Ball. Now Azino. Now this is a potential counter. Nope, we've got switches all around. That's what I get for trying to predict based on pre-fight shenanigans.
Yeah, it looks like they are going for more of a rush composition. They're going to eschew the May in favor of a Reaper, so Chuggle God is going to have a much worse time. But Ryukasim, really only Scaro who will be able to deny him, but Frostnova's done a pretty good job of just ignoring Afara before. Potentially, they can do it again. So far,
well, they've got a comp that kind of can counter the Pharah a little bit here. They've got the Brawl. They can potentially counter Pharah. It's just going to be a question of if this dive can get value.
That's true, but I'm looking at this lemon and I'm like, why would they want to counter the Pharah? The Pharah's not going to touch the point.
Right.
They can just stand there, kill Juggle whenever he tries to get in, and keep it going. This point is absolutely moving, and Lux scrambling to figure out exactly what they're gonna do.
Well, Lux has to ask the question at this point: what are you trying to do with this comp? You have to dive as a group, isolate targets and get picks. But look, that's very difficult to do against this rush comp. I mean, you see it there, 522. I mean, already a great start for Frost now, and the picks keep rolling.
Yeah, they definitely had a chance to try and fight that one. They even got a couple picks, but nobody was on point, unfortunately. And Frostnova are just going to continue just pushing their way forward, building up to a bunch of these ultimates. Ryukasim does have this barrage, but you're facing down a lot of things. The Immortality Field, this Defense Matrix. It's going to be tough to find value.
Absolutely. You have to contend with the shield as well. You got to break that first if you're going for a big old group barrage. Interesting angle that they're taking on this. Might be able to get value here.
Yeah, they're in control of the high ground. Once again, Ryukasim is just trying to find an angle, but he's consistently pressured out. Just gets taken by a hit through the amplification matrix, and now there's no barrage. And the ults are coming out from Frostnova. They know how close they are to capping this point, and they're going to throw quite a bit in to find it. As we were talking about Lux Nova's time bank, Frostnova, they decided to match it.
Yeah, it's an identical time bank going into this third stint. I mean, Frostnova doing an excellent job of ulting first. That's what you have to do in this brawl comp. You have to keep a comp, your opposing comp, constantly on their heels by ulting first. That's what they're doing. It's allowing them now to have this self-destruct online with the sound barrier to counter Ryuke Sim's barrage. Possibly. That's a tough ask of Blazing Angel to counter the barrage with the sound barrier. But it has been done. Could be done.
Absolutely. And he won't even need to. So much damage coming out from Ricey before Ryukasim even tries to get down. Ricey follows it up with a pick on the Stafftron, and Frost are just bullying their way forward against this Frankenstein monster of a comp coming out from Lux Nova. They were just trying things to try and get something online, but it's not enough. And that's a almost 5-minute time bank from Frost Nova. That is something, Lemon Pepper. That is absolutely.
They capped that third stint in under a minute. I mean, that's absolutely.
That is one of the hardest points to cap in the game.
No, they just walked it in.
They did not care.
They just walked it in. I mean, at this point, I think you got to consider saying goodbye to the Pharah pick if you're Ryukasim. I mean, they're not even running counters per se now at Frost Nova, and the barrage isn't even getting value. So it's possibly time for an adjustment. It seems like Frost Nova has isolated that particular hurdle and surmounted it, in fact. And now you're looking at, I mean, just that rush comp. I'm throwing up so many question marks to the side of Lux on just what were you trying to do against the rush. They can just stand there on point. They can just exist in an area. The pressure's on you to then jump in on them and stop the point. I don't see how that is a sustainable defensive mentality, basically.
Yeah, you could see the communication falling apart for Lux Nova at the end there. Juggle and Crispy going over to the Rhine Sigma, trying to get a bit more of that frontal pressure, but they really didn't have much support. They had an Ashe and a Pharah. That's pretty much throwing your tank line to the wolves against a standard rush composition. You don't have any DPS that'll actually help you out against the McCree and the Reaper. So you don't have that front line steady. And Lux they're throwing caution to the wind. They're like, you know what? We're doing pirate ship.
We've got the pirate ship. Hey, with the time bank difference the way it is, I respect it. This is what you have to do here. I mean, by any means necessary, you got to get this win. And Ryoki said they've abandoned the Pharah. They're on the Bastion.
They're on the Bastion Torby then. They're going completely on the turrets. Yeah,
yes,
it
this
is
isn't
the
even a
naval
pirate ship.
warship.
Yes, this is a frigate. It is a frigate.
And so far it's working out for him. You've got Juggle God, the captain, and Crispy, the first mate. But
Bastion. Oh, the res comes in.
Yeah. What do you care? You've got the res coming through, and you're just rolling on.
Warship back online.
Absolutely, just the Lux Nova Navy just pushing their way forward.
And to all the people out there complaining, saying, "Oh my gosh, they're running the Bastion comp," I can't believe it. I have a saying my college wrestling coach used to say: "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying." And so, you know what? This is what Lux is doing now. They are going to win by any means necessary. If that means playing the Bastion, by God, they will play a Bastion, and they will do so with gusto.
And it's working out. But Frost Nova may be playing the Glacier to Lux Nova's Titanic, as the abilities are coming in, the ultimates as well. And, I mean, we all saw the end of the movie. No real ship can beat the Glacier.
Scarro was not having that. He just taking that high ground, maneuvering around the shield. Scarro did a great job of shutting down the Bastion throughout that series. Wow. Hats off. They went for it. They went for the comp.
They went for it, and they got half the map. They made it halfway through point B.
Pull it out on defense. Just do it.
Exactly by that naval ship comp, just putting out the turrets and just seeing what happens. It worked out for them. They got pretty far, but with 5 minutes remaining for Frost Nova, I think they will do just fine. But let's see what else Lux Nova has for us.
Well, I'm pleased to see double shield coming out on defense. I think this is a potential that you have. Lux can potentially hold this here. They can have high ground. They can establish that control. If they can keep getting early picks, then this is still doable. You can whittle down this time bank. I've seen it done before, but Frost Nova, I mean, all they have to do is get a couple picks. All Scarro has to do is do a couple Scarro things, and then the points rolling, and this is another map in hand for Frost. So really, it just depends on this early engage. Can the double shield on the defense set up control? Can they dominate space?
Yeah, and looks like Frost Nova are already ready for that double shield defense. I'm looking at Azeno on the Hanzo. It's going to be putting down a lot of damage. Going to be busting those shields. If he finds a single headshot, Lux Nova are going to be in trouble.
That shield break's exactly what you need.
Yeah, but so far a lot of pressure is coming down from Lux. A lot of pressure on the individuals of Frost Nova, but not a lot of pressure on the point. And that's really where you have to be focused. Yeah, you can't just let this payload move as far as it is.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a good reset there to hold this corner, but you gave up that high ground way too easily if you're Lux Nova. I mean, the point rolled through uncontested.
Yeah, you had to drop at some point. You could not just stand out on your own. And this is a combination that I think is very, very strong and sometimes overlooked, is the Hanzo through the amplification matrix.
Oh my god, that raw DPS output. Good
we see Scarro getting most of the picks, which, I mean, Soldier through the amp matrix is something as well, but that is so much consistent damage. And now we already see the swaps coming in from Lux Nova. Juggle back over onto the ball he is so well known for. But, Juggle God, this is not some fast-paced casting. You're not going to get away with this one.
Manages to get that pile driver down, but man, now you're kind of just like out in open water.
Yeah, you've already used most of your abilities. You're just trying to do the spin to win, but it's more of a rectangle than a circle with how close quarters it is. Scarro with with the visor here, it's just going to be the cherry on top of the ice cream, and that is going to be another quick win for Frost Nova. Everything looking so bleak at the beginning of this map, looking so good for Lux, and it just crumbles as we watch Lemon Pepper.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think the adjustments that came out for Frost, again, adjusting throughout the course of this map, adjusting throughout the course of this series, it's been the difference maker for this team. They're getting the value when they make the adjustments. They're doing a great job. And Scaro and Azino, I mean, man, there are points there where they're really the difference makers throughout that attack, throughout that defense, where they're the ones really putting the team on their back, getting the picks, getting the value, doing exactly what you need your DPS to do. And you see it, you know, Scaro with 63% kill participation on that McCree. So much value, shutting down the war frigate that was the Torbjorn double shield Bastion comp that was coming out from Lux Nova. And a valiant effort. They tried it, you know. That's all you can do. You have to go
pretty far.
You have to go for it. It's do or die time. Last chance qualifiers. We have to go in. And so I respect it. It didn't pan out for him, but that's the type of energy I'm digging to see. That's the type of energy you have to have, because you look at it. You're facing match point now if you're Lux Nova. Frost Nova, they've got a stranglehold on this series so far. Looks like they'll be battling it out against my team on Sunday. Lux is going to have an answer if that's going to turn around. But after these crazy maps we've had so far, it's time that we take a short halftime break. We'll be right back with some more action, and just stay with us. Welcome back to the Hyperion Invitational Cup Last Chance Qualifier. I will get Invitational out on the first try one time. It'll happen, I promise. But we're back. We're and the face thing's happening again. It's cursed. It's cursed. Anyways, enough about me. Back to the match at hand. Frost Nova up 2-0 over Lux Nova in our last chance qualifier, round 1. We're at match point. Winner will be going into the next round of the last chance qualifier, the final round, where they will take on my team, Tempest Typhoon, Sunday night. And that will determine our 4th seed for the actual playoff portion of this Invitational Cup. I am your caster, Lemon Pepper. I'm joined here by Spooky. And get us a little recap going into what we've seen so far, Spooky.
Well, so far, Frost Nova have been stomping all over Lux, to put it mildly. Unfortunately, we saw a little bit of promise coming out from Lux Nova. They took the first point of Ilios, then unfortunately weren't able to capitalize it. Then they had a very strong time bank on Watchpoint Gibraltar, but Frost Nova came back just as strong, even stronger, and ended up finishing with almost 5 minutes. And that one did go the way of Frost Nova as well. So it's now 2-0 as we head over to Hollywood. And so far, Frost Nova have simply looked like the better team in game. Lux Nova have to come up with something different if they want to bring us back.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to change it up a little bit. And so far, at least for the moment, it looks like we will be seeing more of the same from Lux as far as their comp. But on the defense, we've got Scaro coming out on that Soldier, Xeno on the Reaper, Florida and Ricey on the Rhine Diva respectively, and then reprising their standard roles, Capodozer on the BAP and Blazing Angel on the Lucio. And this comp, it's been getting a lot of value. Scaro, with that mobility and just that all-around DPS potential that Soldier provides, has been, just really doing work. Whether it's on the McCree, the Soldier, it doesn't matter. We've been saying Scaro's name a lot. Florida, the Rhine switch. We saw a lot of Monkey early on from Florida, but lately the Rhine's been coming out here this series, and I think it's been looking pretty good.
Yeah, it absolutely has. Lux have been struggling to find the value they need to with the composition they're running. Juggle God, he's disrupting, but he's not really finding the picks they need. Ryuka Sim might be spending a little bit too long hiding behind corners instead of putting down rockets, because Ricey has his number. Luxers, they're starting strong. They're definitely pushing back Frost Nova. Pushing back is not enough with this composition. They need to find a pick, and they need to find it soon. Because
they did cross that big hurdle of getting through choke, but yes,
they did.
They've got to set Ryukasen up to get that value. They've got to get him rotate away from Scar, but Azino's going to get that first pick.
Yeah, that pick on the Stafftron is just going to signal the beginning of the end. A Reaper kill in the far is not something you see every day, and Azino's going to follow it up. Florida will put the last pick onto Mugglywumps, but yeah, it didn't get much done, Lux Nova's attack.
No, it didn't, and more so over is that no one except for Sailor Nips is over 50% on ult economy. Meanwhile, you've got Cabodozer getting close up to that amplification matrix. Ultimately, this could be the fight, just a great fight staller. Basically, win this fight, let more ults get online for the side of Frost Nova. But the good thing coming out for Lux, they get through this choke very easily. If they can get an early pick here, if they can get the value, they could make this work.
Yeah, they're trying to take control of this high ground. We saw Juggle God go up there first, get the slam, and he's gonna knock them off as well. It's good ball play coming out from that main tank. But again, like I said, you're putting in the damage, but if you're not capitalizing on it, you're not going to win in the longer fight. Cabodozer puts the period on the end of the sentence, taking out Stafftron, and that is the go sign for this rush comp. They know that they can push forward, win the 5v6, and that they do.
You can see from the POV, Juggle God is doing great in the initial fight, getting the displacement, knocking them down onto point, knocking them off of high ground. But the follow-up is severely lacking on the side of Lux. I mean, and you've got Ryuki-Sim. That Pharah can get the ranged barrage kills. If you're causing chaos with the ball, that should be all that Pharah really needs to take care of that. And now you do have ultimates online for the side of the attack, but so does the defense, and so it's going to be really hard to break this open.
Yeah, the amplification matrix comes through. It just buys a little bit of time. Ryuka Sim actually swaps over to the Cowboy all the way back in spawn. So I imagine Lux would have to wait for him to walk his spurs back into the fight. He does manage to get there. There's only a minute left on the clock. It's an early bomb coming out from Ricey. And finds Sailor Nips, but the Nano has already come out on the Juggle God. Many ults coming out to the side of Lux Nova, but it doesn't look like it's enough for Florida. Laying down the Shatter, but there's no follow-up. Florida goes low, but the rest of the team's there to heal him up. The Shatter didn't get any picks, but it gave them enough time to regroup. And Lux Nova, despite using so many ultimates, they are floundering. Azino gets the long-range kill on the Reaper, and he's looking for more, just pushing forward with the rest of his team. That was the best opportunity Lux Nova had, and absolutely nothing.
I'll be honest, I just don't see an answer right now for Scaro or Azino on the DPS side of things for Frost Nova. And then more so over, any time that Lux Nova is getting in close, they're really just getting completely shut down by Florida on the Reinhardt. I mean, you're just seeing that the presence is completely there. I mean, there's nothing really to dive into. You've just got Florida with a hammer there waiting on you. So it's just... it's frustrating if you're Lux because there's nothing really to do, but that's a big bomb. All it gets is the immortality field, though.
The bomb comes through. Scaro finds that pick onto Sailor Nips. The Nano Blade is not going to be realized today, and that might have been Lux's best chance to come into this. Scaro is down, but the beat comes out from Blazing Angel. That is going to just keep Frost Nova happy and healthy for them to win this map. And quite honestly, that is the match for them as well. Unless we see a phenomenal hold coming out from Lux Nova, Frost Nova have just made their way into that next round up against Tempest Typhoon. The best Lux Nova can do now is draw. They have to hold for 4 minutes, and the way Frost Nova's been playing, this would be monumental if they're able to come back.
I mean, absolutely. At this point, I mean, if you're Frost Nova, just come in with the Brawl. Just walk right in and stand on point. I mean, the Brawl has been pretty uncontested on the side of Frost Nova. I mean, Lux, you know, sticking to their guns. I respect it. You know, you dance with the one that brung you and all those old witty turns of phrases, but, you know, sticking with the Ball Diva dive comp, sticking with the Pharah, trying to get the value on it. You know, obviously they will be switching some stuff up here on the defense, going for those last-ditch efforts, the Symmetra, the Doomfist, lots of healing coming out with the Moira and the Baptiste. So definitely playing very tanky, but a lot of close-range DPS with poke-style tank line. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a different look. The one bright side going for Lux right now is that this is a different look than they've been showing Frost Nova all game, so they do have the opportunity to possibly catch Frost here off guard. But even so, all you're doing is sustaining the series. You're just, you know, not losing the series here by ensuring a draw. You're not getting any closer to the win here, and you might possibly just be sustaining the inevitable the way Frost Nova's playing.
Absolutely, and that might be what it looks like, but Lux Nova, they still do have a chance to win this series, no matter how small it may seem, so they will put all their eggs into the basket of this double shield composition. Doomfist and Symmetra trying to put in the damage with the turrets, but Frost Nova, they're just kiting their way around, getting up to this high ground. Stafftron's going to get an early first pick. We see Florida just yeet himself into the fight and get bullied behind. And it's gonna be a first point or a first fight hold for Lux Nova here off the back of Stafftron's Doomfist.
Yes, and Lux, they have a long way to go, but as they say, the journey of a million miles begins with a single step, and winning that first fight was their single step. They have began the monumental task of attempting a full hold to draw this out, but there's still a long way to go.
Absolutely, but they've got a minute down. They're trying to get some of these closing picks. They're definitely keeping the pressure onto the remaining members of Frost Nova, but they do have to watch out for the DPS coming back from spawn for that Hanzo. One pick could spell disaster, and that could have done it. Scaro in the backline. Now, the rest of Frost Nova know they can push forward. Scaro once again gets another pick, but Stafftron and Crispy are trying to keep this one alive.
No one can even touch.
Somebody has to touch the points, and they're gonna Lux. You're just a little bit too high up there, and Lux Nova, unfortunately, are going to meet an inglorious end, 3-0'd by their Nova counterparts at the end of this series, and they're going to be the first team out of the Hyperion Invitational Cup. GG's to everyone. Good play coming through, but Frost Nova, they are hungry. They want more. And, you know, if I was a Tempest Typhoon player, I would be a little bit scared.
Well, that might be the case, but considering I am the Tempest Typhoon player, I will say that the brawl looked decent. It did look decent from Frost. However, I would be interested to see, you know, how that brawl fares against something other than Baldiva. That will be the real question. That will be the real question. I can't promise you that Tempest Typhoon isn't going to be running Baldiva.
They might
Sunday.
be.
We might be. You never can tell. But
Jungle God is ringing.
Oh, but now then, it is time, that special time at the end of each series when we pick our MVP. And this was a subject we talked about in the break. This was a subject of much contention. There's a lot of good candidates. You know, take your pick of anyone basically on Frost Nova. But at the end of the day, there was one that I kind of favored, I think personally, and I think that's Florida on the main tank.
Absolutely. Florida did a fantastic job, not only kind of powering through some of his own issues in the beginning, but just coming back and playing multiple different main tanks, playing the Winston, playing the Rhine to a high level. And it generally is this main tank that is setting the pace, setting the tempo at which you play. And we saw Frost Nova's tempo was perfect today. They were just always putting on the pressure, always pushing Lux Nova into a corner, never giving that Pharah, that ball, the space they need to actually do anything, because you always saw the Rhine pushing forward, the Winston just getting the leap exactly where he needs to be to give the rest of his team the space that Lux Nova were frankly not able to achieve. So I do agree that the main tank pick with Florida is a good MVP and was a crucial part to keeping them alive in the Hyperion Invitational Cup.
Oh, absolutely. And so now we will take a short break while we get our interview subject into the booth. We'll be right back with you in just a short moment. All right, and we're back. We've got Florida here in the booth for our post-game interview, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Ninja for our questions.
Yeah. Hello, Florida. Thank you so much for managing to come into the booth with us. Sorry, I'm a little thrown off by Lemon Pepper getting my name wrong. But
What did I call you?
Ninja?
Call him Ninja.
Who's
What did I call
Ninja?
you Ninja? Did I see Ninja somewhere on the screen?
God.
Oh well. It's all right. The
Florida,
sunglasses. I
Oh my
couldn't see
goodness.
things.
Florida, thank you for joining our very scuffed booth today. I wanted to ask you, just how are you feeling? You know, going into an elimination match, going to a last chance qualifier, it's tough. But how are you feeling taking the win today?
I feel pretty confident. We were pretty confident coming into the game, to be honest, because we have beaten Lux Nova before. But today was a special, not that special, but we were just been because we've been grinding both Trank and Hyperion, but we were feeling confident coming into this game.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely
I will
important.
say, it is kind of a shock that we won this thing because I was spiking to 200 ping for both Ilios and Watchpoint Gibraltar. So in the end, we just decided because everyone was jumping around my screen. I'd go up to 196, and then we just decided, you know what? Put him on the giant hammer man, and he should survive a lot longer. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to work out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that kind of segues into what I was going to ask, which is basically, that Reinhardt switch. That was a kind of monumental adjustment coming out on the side of Frost Nova, where you really start seeing the dominance start to be asserted there. And as you answered, that was all basically just because your ping was so high that it's like, let's just not worry about the monkey. Let's just put him on the hammerman and let's go. So that's very cool. But I guess my next question is going to be, uh, you know, what do you do on main tank, especially dealing with all the connection issues that you were? How do you basically enable your DPS? How do you help them get value in a situation like that?
So initially, especially like on the defense of Gibraltar, when I made that initial switch, I just had to play like super, super slow. We couldn't really play the aggressive style like a brawl with a Lucio. So basically, I would play as safe as humanly possible in a place that I'm pretty sure the enemy can't get to me. And then when they start losing members, then I can start kind of pushing forward. The point here is not to push too far forward, push out into the open, especially because if I'm not as stable in connection, I don't want to get lost and end up on the other side in the enemy's like entire team comp. And then just get murdered. So just playing slow, especially for the poke. For the brawl comp, we kind of built it so I did play passive as well on the offense. I was mostly on the cart, just because it was a lot safer for me there. Near the end, I started moving up a little bit more because I felt I could provide some value by kind of pressing the M1 key and swinging through, especially when I saw an opening and when I knew everyone was coming with me. So yeah. Also, I will say, us switching to the Reaper Cree was also pretty huge, just helping me out overall. Our team's currently celebrating Reaper Friday, so we're having an extreme. We just seem to have extremely good luck with Reaper on Fridays. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it was a struggle overall. That's all I can really say. But we got the win 3-0, especially when my ping finally decided to get back to work in Hollywood, and then we could play that aggressive style, a lot more aggressive style that we did.
Well, it definitely panned out for you. I mean, that really, I mean, it sounds like you played that exactly the way you should, and MVP well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the MVP pick, Florida. Now, I have one final question for you. In winning this match, you and Frost Nova will be going up against Tempest Typhoon for that last slot in the Hyperion playoffs. You'll be facing the elimination. And coincidentally, we have a player from Tempest Typhoon here in the booth with us, Lemon Pepper. So I was just curious, Florida, if you have anything you want to say to Lemon Pepper specifically, potentially about that match on Sunday.
Well, I think it's going to be a tough match. Last time we played extremely close, and I think both teams definitely improved. It did went to 5. That's why I was saying it's extremely close. I do
Yeah.
think and I do think both teams probably have improved since we played each other anyways. So I'm looking forward to a good, nice, tightly knit game, and I hope that my internet will not die on me. That's all I can hope for.
That's all I can hope for. Lemon Pepper, do you have any comments for Florida?
Well, I hope that too. I mean, that's you never. I mean, me personally, I never want to win a match because the other team was having like connection issues. That kind of just defeats the purpose of the game, in my opinion. So no, I hope that you get your connection woes sorted out, that you're on full ping. That way, there are no excuses when Tempest runs over the competition and we make it to the fourth seed.
I mean, we'll have to see whenever Scarrow and Ricey decide to show up, especially when Ricey's back on his main role. If we can
That's
3-0 a
true.
team with Ricey on off tank, wait till
Touche.
touche.
Touche. Ricey was off rolling tonight, and it didn't look too bad.
Yep,
You might want to consider keeping him on that. It wasn't a bad look looking on the
yep,
Rhine Diva, especially. But yeah,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a good one Sunday.
yeah,
It's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to try and talk smack with you because you're just such a nice guy. So I
Thank
try.
you,
I
thank you.
try and
Yeah,
fail.
yeah. Like I don't. I'm.
Take note,
Yeah,
folks. That's how you
yeah.
win. That's how you win.
Well,
You just be nice.
I'll let my gameplay speak. How if we do well, we do
There you
well. If we
go.
don't do well, we don't do well. It doesn't. I'm just gonna play the best I can. So,
I love it.
uh,
Well, thank you so much, Florida. Trying to get a little bit of spice, but only respect between these two players. You can catch Tempest Typhoon versus Frost Nova right here on this channel on Sunday night. One of those teams will be going home, but from what we've seen, it's going to be a very, very good match. Thank you so much for coming to the Hyperion Invitational Cup and watching us cast Frost Nova versus Lux Nova, a 3-0 victory for Frost Nova. Unfortunately, Lux have gone home. But we have a lot more Overwatch coming in the Hyperion Invitational Cup, so please follow the channel, subscribe to it if you can, because there's a lot more exciting Overwatch. We are going to crown a champion very, very soon. But that's all for tonight. So this was casted by myself, Spooky, alongside Lemon Pepper. And as always, we have Oakley doing the producing and the observing for us. Everyone, a little round of applause for Oakley for helping us out so much. But that's all for us tonight. So thank you so much for watching, and good night.